Today we're talking about Apex Legends. Yeah, I know I haven't really mentioned that game in a while, but I'm still playing it, I'm still bad at it, and I'm still having fun with it. So I want to talk about it a little bit more, and I figured, Season 1 is a good time to jump back into it a little bit more, as, of course, a lot of people are going to be interested in what's happening there. And today we're simply going to do the patch notes for the season. There are multiple parts to this, the battle pass, the new character, as well as some changes to characters, and we're just going to go through that step by step. The first part here is the Wild Frontier Battle Pass for Season 1. This Battle Pass costs 950 Apex coins, but you can earn up to 1,000 back if you get the whole pass. So essentially, if you play enough, you can get the next pass after that for free if it's the same price. And you get 3 skins right away the moment you buy this pass. The 3 skins in question are the Wild Frontier Legend skins, the first one being the Lifeline Revolutionary, second Wraith Survivor skin, and the Mirage Outlaw skin, which all kind of follow this, combat style, wildlands, grass, camouflage theme, essentially. And apparently you can unlock a 4th skin regardless of if you have the Battle Pass or not during Season 1, and that's another Wild Frontier Legend skin for the new character, as far as I can tell from the image at least. Additionally, 5 Apex packs are free to unlock for everyone and 18 Wild Frontier stat trackers. And then throughout the other unlocks on the Battle Pass, you have various weapon skins, you have all these special badges, according to many people, quite a few too many of those, and some intros, all that kind of stuff. And at the end, you have a legendary skin for the Havoc. When getting kills with this weapon skin, it will actually start glowing up, burning up throughout the match as well, so it's a bit of a different style. But that's not all. There is also a bonus reward with another colored version of that same Havoc style, basically, and that can be unlocked at level 110. And the other bonus reward that you get for level 110 is an extra animated badge as well, so that looks pretty cool. The point here that you have to keep in mind is that it takes quite a while to get that high on the Battle Pass, and you have 3 months of time, but it is over 3 million XP apparently. To put this in perspective, to reach level 100 in the game, you need 1.5 million XP. However, there are various bonus boosters, I guess is a good way to call them, to get more XP through playing different characters, through playing as a team, and so on, that can get you those XP for the Battle Pass specifically a little bit faster. In total, you will earn over 100 unique items through the season this way. Obviously, all the visuals are updated in the main menu and everything to reflect the Season 1. If you want to, you can also spend some extra coins, and for 2,800 Apex coins, you can unlock the first 25 levels of your Season 1 Battle Pass immediately. Also, we have a new legend. And that is Octane. Octane was already leaked quite a while earlier, and actually his kit was also leaked correctly, so most of us have a decent idea of what this character will be already, and that wasn't changed. So his description is high-speed daredevil. If it doesn't involve diving, leaping, plummeting, or racing, then Octane wants nothing to do with it. Always the life of the party, Octane truly believes winning the championship isn't enough. Not if you didn't cheat death at least twice to get there. Visually, he strongly reminds me of the Psychos from Borderlands, though in-game he's at least a little bit more sane than them. His passive is Swift Mend. While not taking damage, Octane restores 1 health every 2 seconds. I think this is going to be a very strong passive, especially with the ability which we'll get to in a second, and that is due to the fact that especially in early game it will help you quite a lot in the very early fights if you just kind of run around a little bit and try to survive that way. And also because you will have many situations where you can simply stock up on other things instead of stocking on health packs to the same degree that your allies would. For a casual player like me, this passive is very, very useful. I could imagine that on higher levels it's not quite as valuable. Also, in that context, it's worth pointing out that in combination with a lifeline, this is probably not exactly what you want to have. So those 2 characters don't synergize as well, because if you have something to heal your health anyways, you rarely need another tool to do so unless your goal is to win the game by not dying and not fighting. His tactical ability is Stim. Move 30% faster for 6 seconds. Costs health to use. While active, Octane is affected less by attacks that cause slowdown. In my opinion, this ability sounds like it's going to be incredibly strong, especially in firefights, but also to just quickly navigate around the map. 30% by all standards is just a lot of movement speed in a shooter, and for 6 seconds means that's basically most of a fight in many situations, depending on how the fight goes. But the fighting times in Apex Legends can be longer than that, but they don't have to, especially not if you're juking all the enemy shots and can aim at them relatively easily. His ultimate is probably the weakest part of the kit, but still a very good part overall. It's a launch pad, and this one is probably helping the team more overall. You can drop a launch pad, a jump pad in front of you that catapults players into the air, and that allows them to fly quite far and quickly either reposition or use that to drop on an enemy or whichever place that you want to use it, or even just to escape. It has a 90 seconds cooldown or recharge. The cost for Octane will be the typical 12,000 legend tokens or 750 Apex coins. Outside of that, there are a bunch of fixes and requested features. First of all, a lot of things have been done regarding stability and performance. And that is very important because many of you may know that often you have people crashing at the start of the game. The stability for the various GPUs has been improved, and I know that Apex has been working directly with the developers of these different graphics cards as well, so that should help a lot here. FPS on PC have been capped at 300 to improve stability, but still allow you to have as many frames as you want. PS4 crashes have been addressed with a memory error, and there's a crash reporting for PC now, but it's not very invasive. What Apex Legends will do is when the game crashes, it'll write a file called Apex Crash Text in your documents, and it's just plain text, and you can read it yourself. You can look into it. It's not protected or anything, and you can see what's stored in there, and you can send this information to Respawn, and they can then detect what kind of crash this was. Essentially, this will tell the developers if the crash was caused by Apex Legends itself or by external software interacting with Apex Legends. It doesn't contain any personal information. You can see yourself what's in the file, and you can control when they can see the file, so no privacy invasion or anything here. There's also a player report feature for cheating and abusing on PC now. You can report cheaters that you see in-game, and the report goes directly to Easy Anti-Cheat. You can do this either while playing via tab or after dying, then you can select them in the menu as well. There are other things going on right now as well. They've already banned roughly 500,000 accounts at this point, and there is something in the game against speed hacking as well. However, there's apparently an issue with that, which they're currently working on. There's probably going to be some new reports for speed hacking with Octane anyways in the beginning when people don't know how it works yet. Consoles get a report player option too. Skydiving has been optimized to increase server performance, and a client crash issue was fixed when opening Apex packs. There are tons of quality of life improvements. I'm going to go through them relatively quickly. You can now swap your bumpers and triggers on console, so change that layout for yourself, whichever you prefer. The sprint shake can be lowered now in the settings, especially for people with motion sickness, but I guess it can also kind of help with aiming a little bit. You can set your trigger dead zones differently, so figure out when a trigger will register on a console. There is advanced look controls now. This allows you to fine-tune specific aspects of the look controls for a custom field, such as dead zone response curve, target compensation, aim assist, and more. When you relinquish the Jumpmaster position to another player, you will now hear your Legend's voiceover line in addition to the new Jumpmaster. The third player won't hear it though. Improved mantling from a grapple point. This is very nice for Pathfinder players, and likewise, Pathfinder can now grapple ziplines as well. This will allow for some completely new movements, and there's some more Pathfinder stuff later down the road here as well. D-pad and navigation as a convenience in most menus, so this is a little bit quicker for console players. UI improvements to the KO shield. The shield bar drains to indicate the remaining shield of health. When you have a gold KO shield and are down, there's an added effect to the label that reminds you that you can self-revive, so you don't forget. The ring indicator that appears when players are viewing the whole map wasn't actually showing the player's position, so that is fixed now. Character animations while taking damage now accurately reflect the direction the damage is coming from. Very, very helpful, for sure. Fixed a bug where occluded sounds would sometimes sound unoccluded. Patched up some issues with missing duo on Kings Canyon and fixed a few spots where players were getting stuck. Fixed a script error that could happen when removing attachment to holstered weapons. General polish to the game UI, fixing some grammar issues, improved navigation and composition of elements, fixed PC user constantly switching weapons while scrolling through items in a death box, fixed issue where we are seeing serviceability issues sometimes caused by purchasing items while matchmaking, fixed script errors that could occur during the skydive, reduced skybox fog, adjusted the code for supply bins so they are less likely to kill players. Unfortunately, I thought that was funny. If you do still get killed by one, please let us know. Made it so push to talk is no longer active when a chat box is active. LT and RT no longer switches between players in spectator mode while the map is open. Updated the minimap to more accurately reflect the geo and points of interest on the main map. Added sound effects to the UI for the key binding menu. Fix an issue where player's name would not show up when they sent a message that reached the character limit. Fix bug where sometimes the champion screen resolution would be stretched in widescreen resolutions. Fix audio bug where sometimes the zipline sound effects would keep playing after disembarking. An accessibility option to modify the subtitle size. Improvements for colorblind players of various sorts, and for the audio fixes, turned down the volume when Wraith activates a portal, turned down the end sounds on the Peacekeeper charged shot, turned on the draw/holster sound slightly for thermite grenades. There are more changes though, and these ones are the legend changes. These are probably a bit more interesting. Adjusted hitboxes for Gibraltar, Caustic and Pathfinder to better align with their shapes. This is an absolutely great change in my opinion. This especially is going to be interesting for Pathfinder because he will probably have some dead spots due to how his body is now, like between his legs and because he has a very different frame from other characters in general. So that's going to be interesting how that works out. But the fact that Gibraltar and Caustic, who are generally not played that much anyway, so now especially because of the hitboxes, will now have a bit of a better shot in many ways is great to me. Like, I'm very happy with this. And I think opening up the pool of characters that are considered viable by players will really give the game a different feeling over, seeing Wraith over and over and over, even though it's probably still going to be a very popular character. Caustic reduced cooldown of traps from 30 to 25 seconds. Increased radius and proximity radius by about 10%. Removed a 1-second delay on the smoke dealing damage to players. Reduced cooldown of gas grenade from 230 to 20. That means that Caustic can use the traps a little bit more effectively, but I'm honestly not quite sure if it's going to be enough for him. I think Caustic is still going to be one of those rougher characters. We'll see how much of a change the hitbox here really is. But at the end of the day, I think the traps can still be very easily avoided, even if you decrease the radius a little bit. Unless you're already down, you can always pop them as well. So unless you're playing in specific areas and just move inside, basically, I'm not sure how well Caustic will do with these changes, but we'll see. Pathfinder, on the other hand, has insider knowledge, increased the number of beacons in the world from 10 to 12, allowing him to use his passive a little bit more, which I think is still a very weak passive overall, but hey, he has a nice kit other than that. Pathfinder was originally actually intended to get another change as well. Pathfinder Grapple added indicator near crosshair to show when a player is in range of a grappable geo. So that would have been super cool, have that range indicator, so you know when you can use the grapple. However, that had to be taken out for now. Apparently Respawn wasn't happy with the art for this icon just yet and made some adjustments to that, and they will include that in a future update instead. Given that it's just a small icon, I'm expecting it not to take all too long though. Bangalore, double time, reduced movement speed bonus from 40% to 30%. More in line with Octane that way, and I think that's fair. I mean, he's gonna be the super speedy one now, and Bangalore is a very strong character either way. Gibraltar Defensive Bombardment fixed a bug where your teammates wouldn't be affected by shell shock. This was meant to be the same as Bangalore's ultimate. Weapons fixed players being able to shortcut weapon swap by changing stance, so no longer having that quick swap, which I guess is fair because it wasn't intended. Fixed players being able to shortcut Peacekeeper rechamber sequence. Fixed inaccurate auto ranging full screen for sniper optics when base field of view is not set to default. Spitfire fixed aim down side views on legendaries partially obscured by custom geo, the Continuum and the Heavy Construct. Fixed aim down side view are being blocked when using caustic legendary skins with certain weapons or optic combos. Digital thread optics, highlights are now more visible, slightly brighter, no longer affected by TSAA. Fixed bug where devotion audio sometimes wouldn't accurately reflect rate of fire. Additional bug fixes. Fix rare issue where a player could get stuck on the dropship and be invulnerable. Patched up the hole we found in Gibraltar's shield. Fix issue where Lifeline's revive shield wouldn't stay put while on a moving platform. Fix issue where sometimes players would get stuck in map geometry while skydiving from the dropship or jump towers. Fix a bug where players could still shoot even after being downed. Fix a bug where occasionally Lifeline's DOC drone would stay connected to a player but not heal them. Limited the amount of Lifeline's DOC drones that can connect to a player to 2. Fixed a Pathfinder's zipline not deploying when jumping. That I think is very cool because that allows for quicker plays. Fix a bug with the HUD where sometimes the heal bar would stay up if the heal was cancelled right after it was started. Fix a bug where sometimes the audio would continue to play sound effects for the knockdown shield even after it's destroyed. Fixed issue where sometimes players could get disconnected when unplugging the controller during a game. Fix the exploit where you could do infinite wall climb using Pathfinder's grapple. To be fair, I can understand where that one's gone. It was kind of funny that it only worked in a very few select places, but oh well. Fix bug where sometimes you couldn't fire the Peacekeeper after riding a zipline. Fix issue where sometimes the skybox fog would not appear while spectating after you died. Fix a bug where banner cards would show through the walls occasionally when viewed through a very high field of view. Fixed some odd light flickering that was happening on the balloon flags attached to the dump towers. Fix a bug where sometimes a player's banner card would not show up after character select. And then, last but not least, they also have Razer chroma support for various effects now. So if you're using Razer, that's for you. I don't know who uses Razer these days, but oh well. And that is it for these patch notes. I'm definitely looking forward to Octane, 100%. And I also really like the Pathfinder changes as well as the Gibraltar and the Caustic changes here. And I want to see how these characters feel now compared to before. I think they hopefully feel a fair bit better. I personally also don't think that the battle pass is too bad. I especially like that you get the characters right at the start, so you don't have to worry about finishing the pass for that, because it's quite a lot of time that you have to invest for the whole thing. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. If you're new to the channel, feel free to click the sub button and ring the bell. It really helps me out. And other than that, see you for the next one tomorrow. DukeSloth, out.